welcome back. As you know, we finished the vest and the blouse in previous videos, so we're going to move on to the skirt. I cut out some pieces shaped like this for part of the skirt, and I used 5 of them, which I sewed together, and then that turned out like this. And then I remembered that my sewing machine actually does decorative stitches. I hardly ever use it. So I put this nice little border with a little flower around it. And I hemmed the bottom. Alright, this is going to be kind of like an underskirt. And then I want to put a black skirt over top that has some embroidery type look. I ran a gathering thread through the top of this. This will be the back seam. But since I was going to sew this part at the bottom, I wanted to leave it flat until I finished that. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this black piece that I cut, and I want it to not go completely around. I want it to be sort of open in the front. So what I'm going to do is run a gathering thread through there. And then I'm going to hem the bottom, and actually we'll be hemming the sides also because these will be open, so I want to have a nice finish hem. So I'm going to go do that part on the sewing machine, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've got the black part hemmed, and I ran a gathering thread through the top. Not sure I'm going to need it, but just in case. These dolls have such small waists, it's really hard to do. All right, now I have a waistband, and what I'm going to do is gather the white part and the black part, and then I'm going to attach the waistband. So I want to make sure I know how big I want the waistband to be, and I'm going to make sure that I get this the right size. So I want to mark it right there. Actually, I'll mark it on both sides. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull the gather thread. If I can get it separated. There we go. Oh, by the way, little side note, I had to buy these huge bag of sunflowers to just get the few that I'm going to need for the headdress. And I had an idea. If you wanted to have something that you could wear to show your support for Ukraine, since sunflower is their national flower, you could do something like this. These are not that big, so more like a pin, more like a small size. I mean, you can use any size. And I cut the back part off so that it was flat across there, and then I had some backing, silk pin backings, and just glued it on there with some E6000, and so you could wear that as a pin. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. Nice way to show support, and it's pretty. So that's a bonus content for you. All right, so let's look at the skirt. I've gathered this much, and you want to look at it remembering that I'm going to need a little bit to turn under, so I'm going to line it up about right there and right there. So it's really gathered just about right. And then I want the skirt, the black part, to come around in the front, but not to meet. So I think I'm not even going to need, I don't know, I might gather it just a little bit. so that it's more like that on top of it and the white shows underneath. See what I mean? Maybe just a little tiny bit of gather. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, okay, I'm not going to be able to do it the way I thought I was going to do it. Because I have to have an opening in the back. That's why. Oh my God. Okay. We'll do it separately. We'll just do the white part separately. All right, so I've got it pulled as much as I want. I'm going to turn this one side under. And then what we want to do is to go to the back side and pin one side of this waistband to it, like that. And you're probably shouting at the camera, no, right sides together. Nope, this is how we're going to do the waistband. Stay with me. Stay with me, folks. All right, and same thing on this side. We're just going to fold this under and then have it meet at our mark. Now, let's just pin the rest of it. So I made a really big mistake last night. I watched the entire, well, no, I didn't watch the entire series. I only watched the last, I watched everything but the first video because I've seen the first video so many times of the Hunger Games. I don't know. I had this urge that I wanted to see something familiar, but once I got into it, it reminded me so much of Ukraine that it actually made me cry a lot. So that's why I said it was a mistake. Anyway. All right, so what I'm going to do is sew across here, and then I'll be right back. Well, after I sewed it, I realized I had black thread. Okay, anyway, that doesn't matter because it's not going to show. So, why did I sew it right side to wrong side? Because now this is the right side. We're going to flip this over. Fold it under. And then we'll sew down our waistband on top of where that black thread is. Y'all. Okay. So that way we have a nice clean looking seam in the front. And it covers up what we sewed. I don't know, these pins seem like they're dull or something. It's driving me crazy. Oh, gosh. Ooh. So funny today. This whole thing with the Hunger Games. So I had a patient today on the phone. I mean, I was on telehealth, and we got to talking about, medicine versus not taking medicine. And I said to her, it comes down to risk benefit. So it's like if you have something like let's say rheumatoid arthritis, and you're in, a lot of pain. So you can take one of the medications for rheumatoid arthritis and not be in pain, and that allows you to have some quality of life and live and do things and sleep without pain and all that. However, you might argue that the medicine is harsh and maybe not good for you long term, but what's the risk benefit? Is it better to live a longer life and be in pain necessarily, or is it better to have maybe some possible side effect from the medicine but be able to enjoy your life? And somewhat similar to things like bipolar. Let's say you're bipolar and you have to take lithium, which lithium can be somewhat damaging to the body, especially, for the kidneys. And so long term, you may, have some damage to your body due to taking it. But if it keeps you from wanting to kill yourself or something, oh my God, I did this wrong. I am so upset. I turned the wrong thing on. Oh my God. Oh, what am I thinking? What was I thinking? All right, I gotta fix that. All right, so anyway, while I'm fixing this, so that's what I was saying to this patient. I'm like, that's how you kind of have to look at some medicine. Yeah, you're putting a chemical in your body, so to speak, but maybe long term you have some side effects that aren't beneficial for you from taking the medicine, but it allows you to have, better quality of life, at least for a while. Is it worth it? And, it's a question that you have to ask yourself a lot of times when you're talking about taking medication. I've told you guys before, I have depression. I've had chronic depression since my 20s, and I take medication. Do I like taking it? No, I don't like taking it. Did it ever have side effects? Sure, it did. But I was able to lead a fairly, normal, successful life. Became a nurse practitioner. I have 3 college degrees. Able to earn a living and, do all sorts of other things, which I probably wouldn't have been able to do if I was depressed all the time and maybe even, want to hurt myself, something like that. So it's a risk benefit. And I says to her, you take it and you hope that the odds will be ever in your favor. I actually said that. See? That whole Hunger Games thing was in my head, and fortunately she laughed because apparently she'd seen the Hunger Games. She thought that was pretty funny. If you haven't seen the Hunger Games, by the way, really good series of movies. I read the books before I saw the movies, and they are excellent books as well. So, highly recommended. Very, very highly recommended. All right, so, oh, I did that. Anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to sew down here, across here, and up here. And that will finish the side. And then I'll be able to sew up the back seam. All right? Be right back. All right, so we finished that, and I sewed up the back seam. And let's see, make sure it fits okay. Yeah, so that works. So I had to put something to a snap or something on the back, or some Velcro, and then I guess I'll come up with a way to put this maybe with a ribbon or something. All right, let me work on that. think I'm just going to take this gathering thread out. I don't think I really need it, y'all. And I think the best thing to do would be just to hem this and run a hem through here, and then maybe I could put snaps on that. So let's try that. All right, I've put this ribbon on the top for the waist, and then I glued these little strings because what I want to do is tie this. So well, most of the time when I see these costumes, they have a scarf around the waist, and I'm not gonna do a scarf. It's hard to do with a small doll because it won't lay down. It's just the fabric is never limber enough to hang like a scarf. So what I want to do is add some embroidery around the edges of this overskirt. Now, I, as you know, can't embroider. So what I did is take this fabric that it's tulle, however you say that, with flowers, and I cut out some flowers. All right, so what we're going to do is put these on here to look like embroidery. And I'm just going to lay out how this is going to look. And then we'll just, you guessed it, glue it down. And then we'll wrap it around this bottle because we want it to be curved. If we glue it and leave it flat, the glue will be sort of hard and it'll make it not curve around the doll. So we're gonna use a little bit of magic in the form of forming it around something. Okay, so we're just gonna put a little bit of glue on the back here. Not putting a lot, but just trying to spread it out more than anything so that it's going to hold it down. Okay. So I think this will look enough like embroidery that it will be okay. Actually, probably look better than if I'd tried to do it, like really embroider on it. So. And I'm trying to make sure I get this symmetrical so that it makes sense. So I didn't watch any more Hunger Games last night. I watched it night before last, so I had to wait to finish this project because I had some things coming from Amazon. So this is like the next day, and still have some things coming from Amazon. Hopefully we'll be able to get those done so we can get this project finished. But anyway, there it is. I think it looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is form it around this bottle so that it's sort of like it's around the body of the doll. And to keep it from sticking, I'm going to put some aluminum foil around it. But first, I'm going to put some between these two layers in the front because it's going to overlap a little bit. So let's just do it like this. And then black piece around it. Okay, and then we'll just let it dry. So we'll probably leave that till tomorrow. So here's the skirt finished. I put a little closure of Velcro in the back so we can take it on and off. So what we can do now is go ahead and put the blouse and the vest on. Oh God, I glued this thing together so bad. I thought I just glued the Velcro on. What the heck? That is some good glue. I might. Oh, sorry about that. I had to take a little break and wrestle with that glue. I got a little bit on the outside of the fabric, but yeah, that's tough stuff, that E6000. Anyway, so yeah, so we got our blouse on our doll, and I think it looks really good. I love it. So once we get this overskirt on, then we'll have a little black to come over the white, and I think that's going to add a lot to it. So we'll check out this tomorrow and see when it's nice and dry and see how it looks all together, and then we'll be able to do some finishing touches. All right, we got our skirt ready. It's glued. Let's see how it looks on our doll. On top of the white skirt. So we don't want this to go all the way around. We just want to tie it in the front like this. And you know, I'm going to tie it a knot just because I can't hold it. And then in a bow. It. Okay, so I think that part looks done. So we're going to wrap up this video and move on to the headdress, and then we'll do a few more finishing touches and complete this Ukraine doll. Thanks for watching. And bye.